Hello and welcome back. This short video gives a brief overview of list comprehensions, which are actually not part of the COSC 121 curriculum. You won't be tested on them, you don't need to know it. But comprehensions are a very handy utility for quickly implementing map and filtered list patterns. So the syntax for these is square brackets enclosing something that looks like this, an expression, which usually involves the variable that's described. So an expression for some variable in some sequence, and then optionally if some other expression applies. So a map list wouldn't involve the if expression part, but a filtered list would involve the if expression. This is best seen with examples, so we'll just quickly walk through some examples. So if we have nums is a list of integer values, 3, 1, 2, and -1. We'll just work off that as an example. Let's say we wanted to create a mapped list with the squares of all of those values. We can say squares equals, now what we want is x times x, so that's our first expression. We want the square of x for x in nums. So this is going to implement our map list function really quickly and easily, and we can now look at the content of squares, and it's the square of each of those values. There's a function we haven't looked at, or a method we haven't looked at available for strings. So if we have a string like this is a sentence, and we apply the split method to that, what it does is it returns a list that contains each of the words in that string separately in the list. Okay, so let's do that previous statement, but assign the result to words. Okay, so words is now the list. This is a sentence, and we can create a list comprehension to get the length of word, so that's our expression, for word in words. As a final example, let's do a quick filtered version of a mapped list and look at the comprehension that we get if we create x plus x for x in nums, which was our list up here, in nums, and then add the filtering part, which is if x %2, so if the remainder of dividing x by 2 is, and we'll do 0 in this case, so we're only going to extract out the even numbers. So that should give us the list that contains only 4, because we've only got one even number in there. If instead we wanted to get the odds, we'd just replace that 0 to 1, and now we've got the squares for each of the values that are odd. Okay, so comprehensions give us a really quick, easy method for implementing mapped and filtered lists. You're allowed to use them in COSC 121, but you're certainly not expected to know them. Okay, thanks.